Hi there, my name is Cupicate, and welcome back to WolfQuest. So as y'all know, Seraph actually was with another male before Cricket, which was Vander. She had met Vander in Lost River, and they had a plan to run off together into a new place, which was supposed to be Slough Creek, and have pups together and raise a family. But Vander was the leader of a pack in Lost River, and they were not happy with him leaving. And some of them turned against him, saying that instead of him leaving, they wanted him gone. And so they turned against him and they killed him. And so when Seraph was waiting in Amethyst Mountain for them to meet up to make the trip to the Slough Creek area, he never showed. And so after several weeks of mourning his loss, she realized that she still wanted to live out their dream of having pups and a family. And so she found Cricket. And Cricket wasn't her first choice, but she felt like he would make strong puppies. And he made her laugh. He cheered her up. He wasn't the perfect mate, but he was what she needed at the time. And she did love him, and he loved her. And they went on to have 4 litters together, I want to say. I think it was 4. And so their first litter, which y'all didn't really get to experience because I was playing Seraph on my own just for fun, there was a part of me that really wanted to grow these pups up. All of these litters that y'all didn't see, and take them and make stories for them so that you would get to choose from her old litters. But I thought about it and I was like, you know what? They didn't get to see them grow up. They didn't get to experience any of their personality traits. The only one who did kind of get to experience, I think Seraph's third litter was Snow, got to experience that litter. And because Snow requested Theo, I will grow Theo up and I will write a story for Theo based on something that I discussed with Snow. So Snow, be prepared. We're going to discuss this at some point. Hopefully I will remember a story for Theo, but he is the only one I am growing up from the litters that y'all did not see because y'all have nothing to go on. And honestly, these are her first litters, and so I'm not even sure if they will make a difference in the story at this point. But some of her newer litters might possibly have some effect on something, but may not. And we may go off and they have their own story that has nothing to do with the Snagglefang pack, or Theo carrying on the Ovarian pack with his name, or the Phoenix pack, or anything. They may have their own story, their own tale that has nothing to do with any of that. What would be great is for the saga to be released so that I could just put them somewhere else and we have a whole story in a different place. But I'm not holding my breath. I know the devs are a very small team, and because they're so small, they can only do so much so quickly, and I would rather have a beautiful completed product than a rushed product just because I want to play it now. It could have a lot of issues. I would rather them take their time. I know we're all waiting for the saga. I'm so excited for the saga. But we gotta be patient. Remember that the dev team is small and they are funded by this game, but this game is not as popular as some games out there, guys. So if you want to see the devs move faster or possibly get more help, more people on their dev team, share this game with your friends, with your family, have them buy it so y'all can play multiplayer together. The more people that purchase and support this game, the faster the devs can work. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Anyways, speech over. So those are the pups from her first litter. Her second litter, we had Bennett. Oh, Theo was in the second litter? Was he really? Oh my gosh, I didn't realize. Theo was in the second litter. So we will grow Theo up just so we can see him. But I don't have a story for any of the pups yet because I'm going to ask you for your help on some of the pups that you got to see in previous litters of Seraph to write a story. I love when we work together. It also takes some pressure off of me, and sometimes y'all's ideas are way better than mine. So we will grow Theo up for Snow. I will do it for Snow. So we had Bennett, Theo, Odin, Belladonna, Gideon, Gypsy, and Celeste. Now Gypsy and Celeste both perished in that litter. I think that was actually the first 2 pups It was the first 2 pups that Seraph ever lost. I don't know that she lost a pup after that besides Hallowheart. For the 3rd litter, we have Cleo, Delaith, Rome, Dahlia, Serene, and Thaddeus. And as much as I would love to grow up Thaddeus and write a story for him because he's the runt, if I want to play Thaddeus, I will do it on my own because we've already got Theo and I don't want to take away his thunder just because I adore Thaddeus. And then the 4th litter is the one I believe we did the highlights of. It is, I do remember. This actually is on the channel, this series. It was streamed and I made a highlights of it. So if you want to go back and watch that to get some insight on how these pups were, then do that so we can make a story. I will also be doing the same. I am going to Texas just to give you some insight of what's going on. Starting the 18th through that next Tuesday, I want to say Friday to Tuesday is when I'm going to be gone to Texas because my sister is getting married, which is super exciting. And I am her matron of honor. And so I'm very blessed to get to be there for her. But yes, I'm going to be gone. So I'm hopefully going to be watching up and taking notes while I'm there if I have any free time. That's a big if. I'm hoping. The last time I said I would do something, I had no free time, so we'll see what happens. All right, so here we are. Now, I'm gonna be scrolling through these because I looked up the Ovarian pack. Well, Theo is also the Ovarian pack, so we're actually gonna see some of Theo's grown-up pups as well, but we're only looking at Seraphs today. So first and foremost, we are actually gonna start with Theo. So y'all didn't really get to see Theo, but the great story of Theo is that he wanted to fly. And so every time there was an eagle attack, he would run around in chaos and Seraph would always have to chase him down. And there was one point where literally the eagle was over him and Seraph barely saved Theo. Barely saved him. But he ended up surviving with that experience. But he was always the troublemaker, always causing Seraph to run around in chaos, always seeking to cause trouble, hence troublemaker. That was Theo. I think I was yelling Theo all the time. But Seraph actually ended up loving Theo very, very much because of that personality trait. He was kind of a bit of a prankster, but he ended up being a strong wolf. And so I'm glad that we are taking Theo into this. I hope you are too, Snow. But I cannot wait to give him a story. I don't know if he will be voted, but I still want to put him in there just in case y'all like his story and are interested in kind of following a wolf that we don't really know much about. So let's go ahead and check out Theo. Now, Theo has a coat that I don't really know that I have seen on any wolves. This has got to be one of the new coats, which is weird because Theo was done in the old. Oh, that's why. Theo has one of the rare NPC coats. Oh my gosh. That's why you're so pretty. Okay, so that's also why I've never seen it before. So yes, Theo has one of the rare NPC coats. Very interesting. It looks like he does have a dark amber colored eye, which honestly looks so beautiful against his coat. He kind of reminds me of Halloween a little bit, which makes me smile. Let's go ahead and check out his howls. So it looks like he might have actually got one of Seraph's howls because Seraph has double ones. So he takes after Seraph in that case, which is hilarious. I imagine that her howling at him enough made him learn that howl quite well. It looks like he doesn't have any markings, but again, Theo was technically made in the system before we ever got the customization pack, so I'm unsurprised by that. But if y'all have any ideas for some modifications or customizations we could make for Theo, I think that would be great. Maybe an injury that he received to his ears from that eagle that maybe grabbed one of his ears. I think that would be a really cool modification. Let me know what you think about that. I'm so excited about Theo for some reason. This coat is so gorgeous. I want to see it running around everywhere. And we won't be adding a Snagglefang because this is not the Snagglefang pack. Let's go ahead and see these stats. So he's actually not very strong, nor is he able to go for very long, but he has amazing health. He has incredible health, which is always handy, especially when these two are negatives. It would be very interesting to play him, kind of like how it is interesting to play Mikhail. since Mikhail has an amazing health stat as well. But I really adore Theo. I wish I had more of a story to give y'all for him, but this is where I am calling you to help, and especially you, Snow. I would love to hear what you have to say about Theo, giving him a grand story that would be interesting and different to follow. I think that would be a lot of fun. It would also be kind of cool, maybe, if that eagle attack possibly caused him to be missing an eye or to go blind, and therefore one of his eyes he just keeps closed because he can't see out of it. I've always wanted to do a challenge where I like put a post-it note over my eye, or maybe I would buy an eye patch just for this particular playthrough. I just don't want that to be offensive to people who have obviously lost their eye for real. So let me know what you think about that. But I've always wanted to do a challenge where I covered an eye and I had to play with only one eye and see how I did, and how you compensate for that. I've never tried that before, but let me know what y'all think about that. I think Theo would be an excellent candidate for that. We could say that the eagle actually scratched one of his eyes and it didn't get removed or anything, but it caused him later in life to be blinded in that eye. I'm really loving that idea. I might actually go with that, but I would love to hear what you think. And so now we have Rain, which was one of the wolves that we got during the highlights series. And it looks like Rain actually ended up being radio collared. She has another NPC code, it looks like, because I don't see anything selected in here at all. So this is another NPC coat with a nice little almost star on her forehead. She has got a dark amber, almost red colored eyes. And her house... that to me is always the desperate howl. Again, I don't think she has any of the customizations or modifications because she was technically created before that happened, but that doesn't mean that she won't have any. And again, I don't remember much about Rain. Unfortunately, it's been so very long. So we're all gonna have to do our homework and watch the series to see if there's anything interesting to note about her. She is quite beautiful, and I would love to know the story of how she got the radio collar. That always fascinates me. Her stats are currently very simple, just a plus in speed and a minus in stamina, so she's very, very, very fast. I say very, very. She only has a +1. But it would be fun if possibly we made the age perks to where she was an extremely fast wolf and how that affects gameplay. I don't think we've ever played a fast wolf before. And here is Ohana, or Ohana, I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce it, is a Cinderella coat. One of my absolute favorite coats. This actually seems to be a very common coat. I thought it was sort of rare, but we have gotten it multiple times. But she was also from the stream series. She has those amber eyes, not quite as dark as Rain, but still very amber colored. Let's listen to her howls. Oh, all very high-pitched howls. How beautiful. And then for her, she has a plus in strength, but she's not very fast. So the strength actually makes your wolf a little bit bigger, if you didn't know. And so it's possible that with her being a bigger wolf, having more muscle mass, it does slow her down a bit, but it makes her stronger when she does finally catch up to something. So that could be interesting to play with her story, is that she's very strong. And again, no customizations, but if y'all have any ideas and wanting to write a story for her, let me know. If maybe she's missing an eye, missing an ear, has a cutoff tail. We can even have wolves that have short tails and we can say that was a birth defect, even though it doesn't show that here. We can absolutely do that. I am willing to customize these wolves as far as it will let me. And here is Moxie, another wolf from the streamed series. And so she has the 831F coat, but she was also radio collared. So I'm kind of interested to know if maybe Moxie and Rain were traveling together and they ended up getting caught by humans to get studied for some reason. The fact that they were sisters traveling together, maybe they thought they were in a pack and wanted to keep an eye on them, but it turns out these two were just headed on their way to get dispersed. Maybe that's another reason why they were tagged, as they were hoping to follow the packs these two might join or possibly create for themselves. She has a silvery gray gaze, which is absolutely gorgeous with her coat. It is very fitting, as she has speckles of gray in her cheeks and in her chest. Oh, she has one of my favorite howls. That is one of my absolute favorites. I absolutely love the idea that perhaps her and Rain were traveling together and somehow got taken by, I keep wanting to say two legs because I've been reading Warriors, but humans. So maybe we could incorporate that into their story. Give me your thoughts in the comments below. I am prepared to read all of the comments, no matter how long they are. I will do it. And for her, oof, she has a -2 in stamina, but that's nothing we haven't dealt with before. In fact, she has extremely similar stats to Mikhail, even though they're not related. She has a +2 in health, -2 in stamina, so she won't last very long, but she's extremely, extremely healthy. So I will have some experience if we end up picking Moxie for any reason, because she will probably play very similarly to Mikhail. And then we have Loki from the stream. Now, Loki is a very dark, intense looking wolf who's quite large. He has the Mackenzie coat that's very, very dark on the dark side. Absolutely beautiful. He definitely has what I would consider a silver green eye or a gray green. Honestly, he just looks like a pine tree right now, and I'm just loving it. I'm loving that intensity that I'm getting off of this wolf. Let's listen to what he sounds like. Oh, he's got the white. Oh, I love the white beard. Oh, it makes me so happy. Both very, very low howls. Now, I wonder if this wolf would be intense or mischievous, as his name would tell for him to be. But just because he has the name Loki doesn't mean that he's going to live up to what Loki is, the mischievous god. And so I'm kind of thinking that he would almost be on the more serious side, kind of how Seraph was, taking everything a little too seriously and being extremely strict. I don't know, I just get that vibe off of him, but let me know if you disagree. He obviously, again, doesn't have any mods right now, but if you want to change something for his story, let me know. Now, he is kind of slow, but he has a little bit more health. Otherwise, his stats are pretty level. And that is our sweet Loki, who may not be so sweet. I'm really interested to see how he might be. And here we have Leo Caris, who is absolutely the fraternal twin of his sister, Moxie. And so he also has the 831F coat. His eyes are that same amber color, but I don't think he has the same house. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. Very nice. It looks like we've had 2 in this litter that had this pained howl. So he has a -1 in stamina and a + in health, but otherwise pretty standard. I do remember Leo being a little bit mischievous. I think I remember calling him a lot during that stream. And so I like the idea that he is a bit more on the danger side, that he likes to take risks and go out and try new things for an interesting playthrough. As we've played a lot of very careful, very focused wolves, it might be interesting to play a wolf that is not very focused and just kind of does whatever they want. I could see Leo being that for sure. And here we are with Zaire, who is the spitting image of Mikhail for some reason. Zaire has the Casanova coat. I know it is the Casanova coat because I have seen it with Bane, Mikhail, and now Zaire. It is a very popular coat about a wolf that was pretty awesome. He has that amber gaze. He literally looks like Mikhail. I feel like I'm just looking at Mikhail right now. So weird. Let's hear what he sounds like. He definitely doesn't sound like Mikhail, though. And again, he doesn't have any modifications, but that can be changed. And it looks like he's got a minus in strength and a plus in health. So he's not very strong, but he is a little bit healthier than your typical wolf. But otherwise, pretty standard. I think I remember Zaire being relatively chill. I don't know that he caused problems, but I could be completely wrong. It has been a long time, and I will tell you these WolfQuest stories do run together. So we will again have to go back. I will probably watch the reveal video that I did for these, because I've already done a reveal on these. I just thought it would be a good refresher to go through these wolves as we're writing stories for them. So now very, very quickly, we went through these pups pretty recently, so I don't want to essentially just give you the same content already, but the first litter that we had with Rollo, we had Grouse, Sparrow, Starling, Thea, and Tyrell. So we're just gonna briefly just kind of look at them just to get a little bit of a reminder, but if you guys want a little more insight on these pups in particular, just go and watch the finale or the end of the last Seraph's litter, because I reveal all of these pups to you. We're really just going to take a look at them, which I don't even really need to go into Modify Wolf for. But this is Grouse. Here is Sweet Thea, who was the white pup, and I remember being really surprised with Thea because she ended up being radio tagged and she had a bent ear, which I had not seen that before on a wolf being grown up. Usually you had to make the modification, but she ended up having it. So this is Sweet Thea, who did end up getting tagged. So I'm excited to see what y'all wrote for Thea. I might have to go back and watch the episode. I feel like y'all may have already written some stories, so I'm gonna go and write those down and start making stories for these pups. Ah yes, Tyrell with the intense gaze. I do remember Tyrell, and I do believe that I saw a story written for Tyrell by Zaire, I want to say it was, who wrote it. I could be wrong, and I apologize if I'm getting your name wrong, but I need to go back and read those because they were pretty good. And then yes, here is Starling, who actually has the exact same coat as Rollo. I also just realized that she has a nick in her ear, so that is really cool. I don't believe I put that there, so she does have a nick in her ear. I'm interested to see how she got that. And then here's Sparrow, who has that very bland gray coat but almost looks purple in it. I don't know why. This coat looks really bland, but at the same time, it's kind of like a conundrum of beautiful as well. But I want to hear stories about Sparrow, our 3 bird-named pups. I wonder if they ended up sticking together. I think that would be really neat. So that was our big refresher from all of the previous pups, especially the ones from the highlight series, because I think that was a very brief go over of those pups. I don't think we actually really got to go over them, so I thought that was really important. Also getting to go over Theo. I'm really excited for Theo because I feel like y'all are really getting an absolute blank canvas. You don't really have anything to work with, though, so y'all could literally give me anything. All you really know is the story of the eagle and the fact that he was always causing trouble for Seraph. That's all you really know about him, but I remember him specifically sticking out in that litter, and especially because of Snow watching me play it on Discord. Gosh, that was so long ago now, but Theo is quite beloved between me and Snow, but I would really love for a beautiful story to be written for him. Even though y'all didn't really get to see him on your own, tell me a story. That is your challenge. Well, I hope you guys liked this refresher video. It's going to be very, very nice to finally start a new series with a new wolf to see if they continue Seraph's work or if they don't. I'm kind of interested what y'all have to hear about that. And then eventually when I get back from Texas, we will be doing a poll to see what happens. I'm sorry for the lengthiness of this video, but I appreciate y'all sticking with me to get this refresher, and I cannot wait to read those comments. Please do so. It helps me out a lot. It gives me something to work with without me having to come up with a story for easily 15 wolves. So I appreciate all the help you provide. Don't forget to like this video, tickle and poke that like button. Also subscribe if you're new. I tell a lot of WolfQuest stories, so you will definitely enjoy being a part of this community. And jingle that bell so you're notified when I actually release WolfQuest videos. I love you guys. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next week with either a poll or a wolf talk about Seraph. Maybe both. Probably both. So keep an eye out for it and ring that bell. Love you guys. Bye.